The Mito Light Mitohacker 4.0 has just been released. I've been putting it through the paces, and I'm going to tell you whether this Czech Republic-based red light therapy company have made a winner or something to avoid. A lot of people have been asking me what I think of the company and what I think of their panels, and until now I haven't been able to provide an answer. After playing around with this panel, I can say that yeah, it is a quality product, and my interactions with the company have also been impressive. So before I share all the technical features and the pros and cons of this panel, what do you need to know about it? Well, it is from Mito Light, not Mito Red Light. That is the American company that has been around for some time now. This is Mito Light. I believe they've been in the space for a couple of years now, but they've made a big imprint in the EU, but also internationally because they offer free international shipping, which is a rarity now. That used to be quite common a few years ago, but today with increase in shipping prices, not that many companies are doing free shipping. So it's a good start. This particular panel is Mito Light's largest panel. It is the Mitohacker. You can also get the smaller Biohacker or the Expert or the Starter. This particular panel has 408 LEDs, and a key difference between this panel and the third generation panel is that it includes 6 wavelengths. Yes, that's 6 wavelengths in the red and the near infrared spectrum. Off the top of my head, the only other panel that I can think of that has 6 wavelengths is the Platinum LED Biomix panel, but out of those 6, one of them is in the blue light spectrum. It also has dual chip LEDs, and a rather big feature is the new touchscreen control panel. This, again, I talk about the Platinum LED panel. Until now, it was the only panel that I've tested that actually had a control panel in it. I'm hearing whispers that more and more panels are coming out with this touchscreen feature, which I think is great because actually it is really nice to use. So it is good to see that it is becoming a standard feature. What else do you need to know about this panel? Well, it offers wireless connectivity if you get multiple panels, so no cables required. Also, it supports VESA mounts. I hope I said that right. It's the VESA mounting system. So you can go out and get any VESA bracket, whether it's a wall bracket, a standing bracket, and use that, which is pretty cool. Finally, this thing is a beast. It is 36 inches tall and 16 inches across. It also weighs 34 pounds. Now, I'm classing this as a wall panel because it doesn't cover full head to toe, shoulder to shoulder width. However, it is the largest wall panel that I've tested. Until now, only the LightPath LED XL Shorty was wider than 12 inches. That came in at 15 inches. So this pips it at 16 inches, which is kind of cool. Okay, so now I'll get my spectrometer out and we'll test not only the power irradiance figures, but I also want to see exactly what wavelengths are being emitted. All right, so Mito Light claimed that there are 6 wavelengths in this with a peak of 630, 660, 670, 810, 830, and 850. Now, I've taken a bunch of readings, and this is a pretty good representation of what I see. So you're seeing the peak here at 630, the other peak up here at 660. I never really saw a peak at 670, which is around here. I don't know whether there actually is a peak of 670 or they've just got a wide 660 and they're claiming 670. I'm not too sure. Over here with the 800s though, we see the 810, which is great. 830 is around here, and I was seeing a slight little bump there, which is good. And then the other wavelength is meant to be 850, which is actually around here. So really I'm seeing 840. So let's just take a few different readings and I'll move around and we'll see exactly what we see. Okay, so here's another reading. Again, 630 peak, 660 peak, 810, and 840. So 850 is all the way down here. It's a bit unusual. I wonder, it's another reading, 4 peaks again. 4 peaks, another with 4 peaks. I'm moving all around the face of the panel while I take this. It is interesting. I do wonder if there's actually only 4 LED chips in here. I mean, 670 is down here, and that's what we'd see with any panel with a peak of 660, right? And then when we look at the near infrared, again, 810, yep, sure, 840, and there's that slight little bump there at 850. It's quite unusual, whether it's just a bit of a marketing pitch saying, yeah, we've got 6 wavelengths, despite it really only being 4 chips. I'm not too sure. I want to believe them. It's just that I'm not seeing a massive peak at 850, nor am I seeing a peak at 670. One thing I did notice while doing those readings is that you are getting a good blend of light across the face of the panel. These are dual chip LEDs, and even when you turn the near infrared light off, every single bulb is emitting some red light, for instance. So you are going to get good coverage. So now let me share the power irradiance figures. Mitolight claim a figure of 165 milliwatts with a solar meter and 90 milliwatts over centimeter squared with a spectrometer. These are 15 centimeters or 6-inch readings. Now with my spectrometer, I had a peak figure of 84 milliwatts over centimeter squared, which is pretty close to the 90 that Mitolight lists. I then had an average figure over 9 points at 71 milliwatts over centimeter squared and a total power output of 216 watts. So what do these numbers all mean? Well, yes, my numbers were slightly less than the Mitolight figures. That's ignoring the solar meter reading, which is always a lot higher than tested. When we look at total power output, it was actually the highest ranked panel that I've tested. But remember, this is a 400 LED panel. Typically the panels I'm testing in this class only have about 200 to 300 LEDs. So you are getting a larger panel here, so the more power is to be expected. As for EMF and sound, it was measuring 49 decibels at 6 inches, and it had a magnetic figure of 0.2 microteslas, which is a low orange reading, not concerningly high, but a little bit higher than some other panels. Okay, so how much does all of this cost? Well, at the time of filming, it retails for $1,884 US. Discount code Alex will save you 5% and bring the price down to $1,789 US. As I mentioned earlier, worldwide shipping is free, and they're shipping these panels out of their warehouse in the Czech Republic. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, can you hit the like button below? It'll take you literally like 2 seconds, but it means a lot to me. And also while you're down there, be sure to subscribe to see more reviews like this. Now that we have all of these figures, I can do a value calculation, and that figure comes out to be $8.28. That's how much you're spending to get 1 watt of therapeutic red light. When it comes to stands, there are 3 options: a floor stand, a vertical stand, and a horizontal stand. Prices range from about $200 through to $500. Finally, it comes with a 3-year warranty and a 30-day returns period, and there is no restocking fee. Okay, so now for the pros and cons. Now, I want to say this is amazing because it's got 6 wavelength peaks, but as we saw, I wasn't seeing that on my test. I'm not too sure what's going on here. Mitolight, if you are watching this, please leave a comment below so everyone can see it. Are there actually 6 different chips in here? 6 different chips putting out 6 different wavelengths? Or are you just talking about how LEDs work, where you do get a wide spectrum of light? Which is fine, because in practical terms, yes, you are getting a wide range of light at a good intensity. The fact that you get an 810 nanometer light is going to be attractive for a lot of people. Plus is the fact that the energy is spread evenly amongst these wavelengths. You're not seeing a big chunk of light going to 660 and 850 and then a little bit to the other wavelengths. It is all evenly spread. Speaking of spread, you are getting a good blend of light across the face of the panel at 6 inches where I was doing my test. As for the features, the fact that it's got the VESA mounts is great and opens up a whole new world of options for people wanting to mount these panels. The touchscreen is also really cool. Plus you've got the ability to dim and silent the buttons. Plus you've got the option to disable Bluetooth for those people who want to minimize EMF exposure. You've also got a really good manual and first time users guide, a great assortment of accessories, plus the ability to sync more panels together wirelessly, I think is a nice feature to have. When it comes to the price side of things, free international shipping, no restocking fee, plus really good value for the amount of power and features you're getting. Tick a lot of boxes here. Finally, I want to talk about the width. It is 16 inches across. It is large. When I stand in front of it, you know you're going to get really good coverage. If you have seen my light coverage videos, pretty much if you want to treat a particular area of the body, that body part needs to be in front of an LED, even if you're say 6, 12, or even further out from the panel. So it's great to see these wider panels hitting the market. However, as I go through the cons here, 16 inches does make this panel a bit of an odd size, because typically we've seen 9 or maybe 12-inch panels. When you get a panel like that, what you can do is get 2 of them and you've got true shoulder-to-shoulder coverage. That's what I do with my Biomax 900s. I have 4 of them. I get head-to-toe, shoulder-to-shoulder width. However, with a 16-inch panel, you're kind of in this like awkward state. It doesn't truly cover outside shoulder to outside shoulder width, but you don't want to get 2 of these because then you're going to be 32 inches across, which is far too wide. I'm not necessarily saying it is a bad thing, but it is something to keep in mind. Now, the good thing is, Mitolight do sell a smaller option, so you could get the smaller one alongside this, or you could just get two of the smaller ones and go side by side. There are a few ways to play it. I do have a few other cons here. Now, some people may think I'm nitpicking, but it's important to share all my thoughts. Firstly, there was no included remote. It's not a biggie, but a lot of companies these days are shipping simple remote controls with their devices. However, there is a mobile app. It is on the pricier side, but you are getting a bigger panel and some good features for that price. Some people are still looking around that $1,000 price point, so this is going to be out of the budget, even though again, you are getting good value. Finally, there is a little bit of magnetic EMF, and there is that uncertainty with the wavelengths. These aren't reasons not to buy the panel. They're just remarks that you should be aware of if you are going to spend this sort of money on a red light therapy panel. Overall then, what is my take? Well, to be honest, I was going to say if you live in the EU or Czech Republic, then yeah, definitely check this out, definitely consider it. But with their free shipping and their no restocking fee, to be honest, no matter where you live in the world, you should highly consider it. Of course, if you live in the Czech Republic, then it's a no-brainer. They're shipping from your country. You're protected from local consumer laws and all that good stuff. But I do know a lot of people worldwide who have been buying these and have had good feedback and good reports. It is their 4th generation product line, so it's not like they've just rushed these out and who knows what's lying underneath. They have been in the market for a while. So all of these points are ticks of approval. Personally, I'd be more than happy to use this panel if it was the only panel I could have. It's got good power output, a good wide spectrum of wavelengths, good blend of light. It's rather easy to use, though I should say, even though it's got the touchscreen control panel, it's not quite as nice as the Biomax one, but this is, again, me being very nitpicky. It comes with all the accessories. I can add more on. Comes with a good manual. Again, it's hard not to fault it. But if you are in the market to buy a panel, you should always do your due diligence, do a ton of research, watch these reviews, and also see what other panels are available out there. I'll have to do some head-to-head comparisons. This versus a Biomax 900 would be interesting. This versus the LightPath LED XL Shorty would also be interesting. Why? Well, that panel's 15 inches wide and has a lot of 8-10 nanometer light, for instance. So that's another option. Speaking of the LightPath LED Shorty, you can check out my full review here. Otherwise, be sure to check out any of my other video reviews and leave any questions below.